Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Ishan Ishavataраkan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaud Udaye Pushpavanatau Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau Granthirarambhakori Mangalacharana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Safal Nija Vanchita Purana Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, Adila chapter 7, entitled Lord Chaitanya in the Five Features. I believe we have read till text number 142. So we're going to read further from the next verse. And in the last few verses, we have been talking about the direct explanation of Lord Chaitanya himself about the Vedanta Sutra upon the request of the Mayavadis. So they believe that yes, we have been taught hodgepodge, we have learned hodgepodge, we have not understood the Mukhya Artha, we have been caught up in the Gauna Artha or the secondary meaning, and due to word jugglery and speculation, and then they requested Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya will discuss this topic about Sambandha, about Abhideya, and about Prayojana. This was the main theme in the last almost like 7-8 verses. And then lately we were talking about the Prayojan, which is basically Krishna Prema. And so we're talking about this theme of Prema, of Krishna Prema, which is the topmost thing. So we read 143 also, I believe. We read 144. Also, yes, we have read all these. And we read 145 also, right? Yeah, Mukti Swayam Muktanjali. We read that. And 146 also we covered. Right? Anyone recalls? I think we covered this 146. Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan 18 Artha Sarva Sutre. So I'll just reread the translation. One's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, activities in terms of that relationship, and the ultimate goal of life to develop love of God, Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. These three subjects are explained in every aphorism of the Vedanta Sutra. So Vedanta Sutra in a nutshell is basically who is God, who am I, what is my connection, how do I develop that connection through the Abhideya, and for what? The goal is Prema Umartho Mahan, Krishna Prema, Prema Prayojan. we read this? Somehow I'm not very familiar. Okay, there's no, no harm in reading it again, so I'll just reread it. I'm sure of the 145 for sure we read this. I'm not sure of the 146. Hare Krishna. So let's read translation and purport. I'll just read it. Sambandha abhidaya prayojananam etina artha sarva sutre. Yes,
Hare
Bas.
Krishna Prabhu. I think we read that one, Prabhu. Sambandha Vidya Prayojan.
Okay,
That's the last verse we read last time, Friday.
perfect. Okay, Mataji, I was not 100% sure. Okay, thank you for helping. We'll read 147. Mata sarva sutrera vyakhana shuniya sakala sannyasi kahe vinaya koriya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When all the Mayavadi sannyasis thus heard the explanation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the basis of Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan, they spoke very humbly. Purport. Everyone who actually desires to understand the Vedanta philosophy must certainly accept the explanation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Vaishnava Acharyas who have also commented on the Vedanta Sutra according to the principles of Bhakti Yoga. After hearing the explanation of the Vedanta Sutra from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the sannyasis headed by Prakashananda Saraswati became very humble and obedient to the Lord, and they spoke as follows. Hare Krishna. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been speaking from texts like almost last 10 verses approximately upon the request of the Prakashananda Saraswati and others because they wanted to know in more detail. Now, a very good quality here to observe, Sakala Sannyasi kahe Vinaya Kariya Vidya Dadati Vinayam. Humility is very, very important character. It is not optional in the life of a devotee. It is not a kind of, how do I say, it's basically the core, it's not a detail. Hmm. It's the essential principles. Vaishnavta means saralta. Knowledge means humility. Hmm. So here, very humbly they are speaking. Their heart is completely transformed. Earlier they were asking challenging questions to Lord Chaitanya. Why are you doing this? Why are you dancing like a madman? You seem to be like an emotional person with no knowledge. They were very proud of their learning, their sutras and whatnot. But when we hear the words of a pure devotee or the Supreme Lord, so when we read Shastras, when we hear scriptures, Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Caritamrita, our heart should become Vinaya, Vinaya Kariya, as we see. Even the Mayavadi's hearts, they have transformed. And the following verses, this following section is all about the transformation of the Mayavadis. So very, very humbly, they all spoke after hearing from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What did they speak? We will see further in 148 onwards. Someone like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare
Yes, Mataji.
Krishna Devaji, Sandhavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Text 148. বেদময় মূর্তি তুমি সাক্ষাৎ নারায়ণ ক্ষমা অপরাধ পূর্বে যে কইল নিন্দন. Translation, scroll down. Prabhuji, can you scroll down? Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Dear Sir, you are Vedic knowledge personified and are directly Narayan himself. Kindly excuse us for the offenses we previously committed by criticizing you. The complete path of Bhakti Yoga is based upon the process of becoming humble and submissive. By the grace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the Mayavadi sannyasis were very humble and submissive after hearing his explanation of the Vedanta Sutra, and they begged to be pardoned for the offenses they had committed by criticizing the Lord for simply chanting and dancing and not taking part in the study of the Vedanta Sutra. We are propagating the Krishna consciousness movement simply by following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We may not be very well versed in the Vedanta Sutra aphorisms and may not understand their meaning, but we follow in the footsteps of the acharyas. And because of our strictly and in obediently following the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is to be understood that we know everything. We know everything. Probably I can see that. Okay. We know everything regarding the Vedanta Sutra. So here, Mayavadi Sannyasis, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord Himself, actually transformed those Mayavadi sannyasis who were the associates of the Prakashananda Saraswati, and they criticized. They said, like, why you are not dancing? Why you are dancing on the street and not really studying, not meditating? So Mahaprabhu's power, he transformed them, he changed them, and then make them realize their fault, and that's why they are asking for apology from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here Prabhupada is saying that we may not understand, I mean not Prabhupada, like we may not understand Vedanta Sutra, but what we know is to serve the Lord, to do the service for the Lord. So that is more than the Vedanta Sutra, to raise the love for God. So that is more important. So Prabhuji, back to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading this nice verse. I mean, it cannot go, like clearer than this. It's like the noon sun, right? As we say, it cannot get clearer. Prabhupada's words, complete path of Bhakti Yoga, this is what we're trying to follow, is based upon the process of becoming humble and submissive. Trinadapi Sunichena, Taroriva Sahishana, Amani Namanadina. Humility and service, submissiveness. Because only in the soil of the word humility comes from the root word humus, which means soil. And good soil is required, right? If the seed has to grow, good soil is required. If you put seed in a barren land or like in the ocean sand, will it grow? No, it won't grow. We need good soil, humus, right? So that soil is the humble heart, where the seed of bhakti will grow. His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj was explaining in one of the classes, different gods have different vehicle. Like Durga Devi has tiger. How about Lord Ganesha? Mouse. How about Lord Shiva? The bull, right? Nandi. And peacock for Kartikeya, crocodile for Ganga Devi, etc., etc. What's the vehicle for Bhakti Devi, the past? The vehicle or the carrier is humility, Vinaya. So that's what we see here. Prabhupada is so clearly mentioning. And by his grace, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace, even the Mayavadis understood that they made a mistake, right? It reminds me of the 6 hours of correction or rectification, right? So maybe it's worth reflecting upon that for a moment. So the first R is reflection, right? Or also called maybe introspection, right? Or introspect, right? When we introspect, when we reflect upon something, we will come to the second R. Oh, I made a mistake. It will lead to realization, right? But when we realize that, yes, I made a mistake, then one should not pause there. What should one do? One should repent, right?
Repent, regret.
Mm. That I made a mistake, right? And that's what we see here. One is apologetic, one is feeling it in one's heart. I should have not done that. I made a mistake. Um, and then this repenting won't solve. One should rectify, right? Or reform oneself. It could be an apology, it could be fixing things, it could be doing things better or whatever, depends on what the mistake was, one needs to rectify. And then the fifth R is remember. Hmm? Remember the mistakes I have done, right? Why? So that I don't repeat. So repeat not. This completes the 6 important steps of reformation. Mm. So we see here the first 4 at least, right? They reflected, they heard, they realized they made a mistake, they're repenting, they're humble now, and they are begging for apology, right? That's what we see. Kindly forgive us. We have made uh, offense by criticizing you. Mm. You are Vedic knowledge personified. Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakriya, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapa, right? Vasudeva Parodharmo, Vasudeva Paramgati, Vasudeva Paraveda. This comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Let me open that quickly. Um, It's in the second chapter, important verse, right? I'll just quickly open. Vasudeva Paraveda Vasudeva Paramrikmakaha. So, the ultimate knowledge, object of all knowledge is Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what they're mentioning here, right? Your Vedic knowledge personified. Vedeshcha sarve ahameva vedyo. You are directly Narayan himself, right? So look at their heart transformation. They have understood, they have reflected upon that, they have realized their mistake, they are begging forgiveness for their offenses, and they are repentant. Mm. Their mood has transformed. They're not proud, they're humble and submissive. This happens when we hear the words of a Shuddha Vaishnava. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavad seva. When we hear from the Supreme Lord or his pure devotees who do not have any selfish agendas. Their only agenda is to help us, to purify us. Purity is the force. Therefore, we are reading Prabhupada's books every day. We must read. Prabhupada emphasized it so much not because he wanted more and more followers to read his books, but because he's so compassionate that if we do so, we'll be purified. Our ego will be transformed. Mm. Ahankara to Vinamrita. Mm. Vinaya. Any comments, thoughts anyone has? Okay, 149. We'll move to the next one. Yes, anyone wants to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna everyone. I read Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
It's 149. Hare Krishna. Say hi te Sanyashira Firi Jena Mana Krishna Krishna Nama Sada Karai Kahana. Translation by Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. From that moment, when the Mayavadi sannyasi heard the explanation of the Vedanta Sutra from the Lord, their minds changed, and on the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they too chanted Krishna, Krishna always. So here, finally, the Mayavadi sannyasi, they have understood the propagation of Krishna consciousness through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now, he's gone step by step by all humility, because at first he was just sitting at the doorstep of the temple where the sannyasi were meeting. And by his humility, he's been able to explain the Vedanta Sutra finally. And they all are asking for pardon because they have offended Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is my understanding, Prabhuji. Thank you. Back to you. Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you, Mataji. Would someone like to read the purport?
Oh, I forgot the purport. Shall I read then? I forgot that.
Let's see if anyone else is in a position.
Okay.
Holy Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read.
Please.
In this connection, it may be mentioned that sometimes the Shahajya class of devotee opine that Prakashananda Saraswati and Prabodhananda Saraswati are the same man. Prabodhananda Saraswati was a great Vaishnava devotee of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Prakashananda Saraswati, the head of the Mayavadi Sannyasis in Benares, was a different person. Prabodhananda Saraswati belonged to the Ramanuj Sampradaya, whereas Prakashananda Saraswati belongs to the Shankaracharya Sampradaya. Prabodhananda Saraswati wrote a number of books, among which are the Caitanya Caritamrita, Radha Rasa Shudha Nadi, Sangita Madhava Vandavana Shakta and Navadip Shakta, which while traveling in southern India, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Prabodhananda Saraswati, who had two brothers, Venkata Bhatta and Tirumalaya Bhatta, who were Vaishnavas of the Ramanuju Sampradaya. Gopal Bhatta Goswami was the nephew of Prabodhananda Saraswati. from historical records of the found that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled in South India in the year of 1433, Shatabda AD 1511. During the Chaturmasya period, and it was at that time that he met Prabhupada, who belonged to the Ramanujaya Sampradaya. Who then could the same person met him as a member of the Shankaraya Sampradaya in 1435 Shatabda. 2 years later, it is to be concluded that the guests of the Shahajiya Sampradaya, that Prabodhananda Saraswati and Prakashananda Saraswati, were the same man in a mistaken idea. Back to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Look at the power of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All the Mayavadi sannyasis who just believe in the impersonalism, Krishna, Krishna Nam Sadaya Kariya Grahan, right? They're all, their minds change, their heart change, a complete transformation happened. And on the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they chanted Krishna, Krishna. Everyone is chanting Krishna, Krishna. Sada, Nam Sada Karaya Grahan. This is the power of a pure devotee. And this is what we see. When Srila Prabhupada came, who had heard the word Krishna in the Western world? Everyone was chanting drugs, sex, and rock and roll, right? Eat, sleep, be merry. Even now, majority of the population, their mantra is live life king size, enjoy life, YOLO, you only live once, FOMO, fear of missing out, work hard, party harder, right? These are the mantras for today's, whether we call youth or modern society. Enjoy till you drop, right? But the mantra for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, Krishna. Dhaitava Pache Pache, right? Running behind. So this is the power of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, power of the Supreme Lord and his pure representative. Complete transformation, 180-degree transformation for our own good. And in the purport, primarily Prabhupada is explaining that we should not confuse with these two personalities. Prabodhananda Saraswati, who was a great Vaishnava of South India, and Prakashananda Saraswati, who was a follower of Shankaracharya. They are two totally different people. Totally, I mean, one is a pure Vaishnava. Of course, as we see here later, Prakashananda also got transformed. But, Prabhupada Saraswati is at a different level altogether. And the uncle of Sri Gopala, Bhatta Goswami also, who is one of the 6 Goswamis. So that's the context here. Any comments anyone has here? फिर गया मेरा मन फिर गया, then फिर गया, घूम गया, right? Transformed. मन फिर गया. There are some Bollywood songs, oh, my mind has been stolen, oh, but this is what real transformation, real, man fira, by the words of Bhagavatam, by the words of devotee Bhagavatam, the words of Bhagavad Gita, etc. That is real transformation of mind and heart. So why do we let our mind be caught up in the illusory material energy? If we have to transform, let our mind be transformed in the direction of the Supreme Lord by chanting Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 150. Who wants to read? Is Poli Mataji unmuted? Something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, let's take
Uh,
some comments. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So for Gopal Bhatta Goswami was the nephew of Prabodhananda Saraswati. So Saraswati title, he got the Saraswati title from the Mayavadi group, right? And Gopal Bhatta Goswami, so I'm just trying to connect how they, because of their title, they are different, right? Their name, they got the name Prabodhananda Saraswati and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Bhatto.
I don't know the how, you know, yeah, to be honest, I don't know those connections. Yeah, maybe that's why Prabhupada is explaining to not confuse Prakashananda Saraswati and Prabodhananda Saraswati, because I mean there is Saraswat Brahman and things like that, I've heard, but I am not very learned in this. Like, sorry, if anyone else knows and wants to add, please feel free.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think what I understand, what we have learned about the Goswami, because they are those people, those devotees who have been able to control their senses, no, the Goswami. That's why they're called Goswami. No? It's a title given to such devotees. Goswami, they have been able to control their senses and they're totally dedicated to Krishna. No? This is what Prabhupada explained, Goswami.
Yes, that aspect is certainly true. But Mataji's question is more like if his uncle is Saraswati, Prabodhananda Saraswati, so how is the nephew Gopala? But so I think that's more of the question. So yeah, what you are saying is correct. Like, I mean, in ISKCON also, like some sannyasis are addressed as Goswami. Some even like Grihasthas, like it's not about, you know, the address only. It's about, you know, character, right? It's not that those who are not addressed Goswami may not be mind or sense control, right? There are so many devotees, they may not be addressed as Goswami, but they are completely pure. So anyone else has a comment? Maybe some other devotee, maybe when you attend, I think basically Pran Govind Prabhu's class, you can ask him, he'll be able to better respond to this. Okay, let's read further, text 150. Is Baldev Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Roji. Hare Krishna devotee, don pranam all to Srila Prabhupada. এই মতে তা সবার ক্ষমি অপরাধ সবাকারে কৃষ্ণ নাম করিলা প্রসাদ. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki joy. Thus Lord Chaitanya excused all the offenses of the Mayavadi sannyasis and very mercifully blessed them with Krishna Nam. Haribol. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the mercy incarnation of the Supreme Personal Godhead. He is addressed by Sri Rupa Goswami as Mahabodhanaya Avatar, or the most magnanimous incarnation. Srila Rupa Goswami also says, Koruna Avatarino Kalu. It is only by his mercy that he has descended in this age of Kali. This is exemplified. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like to see Mayavadi sannyasis because he thought of them as offenders to the lotus feet of Krishna. But here he excuses them, Tan Shabaro Komi Aparad. This is an example of in preaching. Apuni Achari Bhakti Shikhao Shabare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us that those whom preaches meet are that those whom preachers meet are almost all offenders who are opposed to Krishna consciousness. But it is a preacher's duty to convince them of Krishna conscious movement and then induce them to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Our propagation of the Sankirtan movement is continuing despite many opponents, and people are taking up the chanting process even in remote parts of the world like Africa. By inducing the offenders to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exemplified the success of Krishna consciousness movement. We should follow very respectfully in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya, and there is no doubt that we shall be successful in our attempt. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent and merciful avatar. Even his pranam mantra is a Mahabodhan manner. So he's the most merciful, and we see that he just convinced these Mayavadis and showed his mercy, and they became the devotee. And Prabhupada is telling that we should follow the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should learn first, and then we should encourage others and make them devotee and make them chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Back to Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So many, things to learn from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come in the role of a devotee. Bhaktavataram bhaktakyam namami bhakta shaktikam panchatatvatmakam krishnam bhakta rupa swarupakam. Why did he come? Of course, multiple reasons, but one reason is to teach all of us how compassionate, how magnanimous Lord Chaitanya is. And that's what Srila Prabhupada is, pure follower of Lord Chaitanya. How magnanimous, right? Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayati. Most magnanimous. Srila Rupa Goswami coined this verse at the banks of the Shashwamedh Ghat near Allahabad. Understanding the heart of Lord Chaitanya. He is the most magnanimous. He's come to give the topmost. Krishna Prema Pradayati. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. Krishnaya Krishna Namami Gaur Dashe Namaha. So this is the mood. So this is the mood what Prabhupada carried. He did not distinguish, oh, black, white, oh, rich, poor, oh, Indian, American, oh. He was beyond all those things. He knew that people in America would not be very receptive, or they had not heard about Lord Chaitanya or Krishna, or they are very far. He had some idea. It's not that but he had faith that his Guru Maharaj has told to preach in the West, and that was his only motive, to try to fulfill the order of my spiritual master as my life and soul, without thinking of the results. And most magnanimous personality, right? So we cannot imitate that, but at least we can try to follow in the footsteps. Prabhupada is mentioning here, it is a duty of preacher to convince them of Krishna conscious movement and induce them to chant Hare Krishna. Very, very clear, right? It is the duty. Preachers may meet sometimes offenders, right? Sometimes we go out in the streets and with distribution or Sankirtan. Sometimes people make fun or offend or are like, making some jokes about devotees, you should not take it very seriously. Hey, how dare are you joking? You should not enter into fights or verbal fights, physical fights. No, this is not Lord Chaitanya's moment. Of we always try to give the good impression. If someone says, "Hey, you guys are crazy," okay, we are crazy. You chant Hare Krishna. That's it. You are great, sir. We are crazy. Please pray for us too. But please chant Hare Krishna, right? Gauranga, Nityananda. Hmm. That's a success. Hmm. So we should be very respectful, Prabhupada is saying, right? In following the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that means take it as our life and soul. Lord Chaitanya is showing by his example. Apne achari bhakti shikhao savare. Hmm. All the Guru Varga is also teaching by their example. They're following the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. So we just need to follow the parampara of humility, the parampara of submissiveness. The more we follow, the more we will be aligned to the mercy. Sabara Shami Aparad, right? A devotee does not think someone has offended. Hey matata sabara shami aparad. Sabke अपराध क्षमा कर दिया. Sabha kore Krishna naam korila prasada. Well, like, look at that. He's giving the mercy of Krishna naam to others. They are giving him criticism. But what is he giving them? The purest of the pure things, right? If someone gives us something, like someone gives me apple, and next time I give him or her mango, not a big deal, right? So someone gives me one gift, I give them one gift, right? That's nice. That's how normal people behave, right? But here we are talking, our parampara is totally, maar khai prem de. Maar खाकर भी जो प्रेम देते, that's Doyal Nitai Chaitanya. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya बोली नाचरे अमर मन. मार खाए प्रेम दे, दोयाल तो नाई है. No one is more merciful. Who will, like Haridas Thakur, think of his example, being beaten up in 22 marketplaces, and those I don't know what we call in English, those jallad, right? Those people who were beating him. He said, if you're not dead, then we and our family will be dead. Said, if me living causes problem to yourself and your family, then he kind of went in samadhi. So, in short, a Vaishnava is humility personified, does not consider any aparat. Look at the story of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni had caused problems to Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj went all the way, trying to search for help, and finally came at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj said, "I'm so sorry for because of me you had to get so much inconvenience. Please forgive me." He was the one who caused problem to Amrish Maharaj, but Amrish Maharaj is asking for forgiveness. This is Vaishnava. This is humility. Hmm. A Vaishnava does not consider that anyone has caused, offended. So there's one quote: "A Vaishnava forgives someone before even they commit offense," because Vaishnava says, I am such a rascal. How can anyone even offend me, right?" So Vaishnavism is very deep, and all these qualities are what what brings us closer to the Lord and His devotees and the Guru Parampara. Any comments, thoughts in this text 150? One story coming to my mind in this connection. One time there was a big landlord who was known for his charitable actions. He had big farm with big mango trees and stuff. And this big person, millionaire, billionaire, whatever, was sitting outside in his farm. That's like maybe sunbathing or just relaxing in his poolside. And outside the farm, like these mango trees were hanging and mangoes were there. And some of the mangoes were kind of outside also, outside the fence of his property. And there was a little 10-year-old guy who was throwing stones in the stone, trying to catch some mangoes by hitting stones at the mangoes and trying to catch some mangoes. So one stone, it didn't hit the tree. It went all the way and hit this landlord, this wealthy person who was relaxing on the poolside. And he got mad. Who's that? Gods, catch him. Fine, bring him. Who's that person? Right? And the gods, the security, caught this boy and brought him in front. This person was hurt. Of course, the stone hit him, so he was hurt. There was some blood. It was not like traumatic, but still he was hurt and he was feeling the pain. He said, "How dare you hit me? I'm going to punish you. I'm going to give you a punishment." He said, "Sir, I have heard you are very, very noble, but I didn't realize that even a tree is better than you." He said, "What? Yeah, I'm very noble. I'm very charitable. I do lots of charity. But what do you mean? Like a tree is better than me? A tree is like, tree can't move. What does tree?" He said, whenever I have thrown stones at the tree has given me juicy mangoes. One stone I threw at you, and you are giving me punishment. So who is better? So very nice, deep story. So even a tree gives juicy mangoes when we hit with stone, but you are giving me a severe punishment. So who is better? Something to think about. Nice story with deep lesson. Anything before we pause today? Okay, so we will pause and continue tomorrow. Shri Chaitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha, Nitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.